across the Illawarra, South Coast and Southern Highlands. This is Win News.
Tonight, cracking down on unsafe practices on our waterways. Raising awareness of one of Australia's biggest killers. And what's holding back a transition to electric vehicles on the coast? Good evening and welcome to Win News. I'm Jared Constable. Also tonight, the Stars come out to play on finals day at the Koori Knockout. A day on the water can turn dangerous in an instant, with 11% of drowning deaths across the state in the last year from boating incidents. We're being reminded of the importance of wearing life jackets and to navigate with caution this boating season as weather events shift our rivers and coastlines.
Sun's out, New South Wales Maritime's out, cracking down on boating compliance and safety across the state.
In the end, it's your own safety, and it's probably one of the more important aspects of boating is to A, have the life jackets on board and B, wear them when they're required.
The proper use of life jackets, the number one priority this season.
It's always good to check the canister is in good condition and is screwed in properly, so it's nice and tight. So if you do need to pull the cord, it'll go off correctly. Officers
out in force, making sure boaters are ready to safely hit the water.
Are you the master? Yeah. I'll just get you to grab your boat licence out if you can, please.
A warning for boaters that extreme weather conditions have changed our rivers and coastlines.
You can get a lot of debris, fast-flowing water that people might not be aware of. So if they're out on the water, you get large trees that might be sitting just under the waterline. So that's a hazard on the rivers, and that can then flow out into the ocean.
While different rules and regulations do apply in open and enclosed waters, all boaters are urged to brush up on the handbook, otherwise the master runs the risk of copping an infringement notice or worse.
Are you aware that you're supposed to be wearing a life jacket at the moment? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give you an infringement notice for the life jackets, not wearing those jackets. Okay, and I'm going to have to direct you into inshore waters because you don't have any flares.
While the rules might be confusing for some, they're crystal clear for others.
Make sure everything in the boat before we go out, you know what I mean, before we come.
Look, it wasn't perfect when we were younger, but now we got it all.
It's there for a reason. You know, safety is most important. Everyone wants to go home to their families.
Olivia Blunden, Win News.
While we've seen some sunshine today, it appears it may have been short-lived, with widespread rain and storms expected across the state this week. Multiple weather systems will move over the state from late tomorrow, with widespread showers, storms and damaging winds likely by the weekend. Falls of 80 to 100 millimetres are expected, with isolated totals in excess of 200 millimetres possible. The rainfall will cause streams and rivers to rise, the Bureau of Meteorology urging communities to keep up to date with warnings. Adam Straney has more on the weather later in the Bulletin. For the first time on television, a police whistleblower will allege officers within the police force perpetrated and covered up gay bashings, including the death of former Win News presenter Ross Warren. 33 years ago, his car keys were found below the cliff top at Marks Park in Bondi, 2 days after he was last seen driving along Oxford Street, Darlinghurst. His body has never been found. A coroner ruled his death to be a homicide, but no arrests have been made. Mr Warren's death will be part of Nine's under investigation at 9 o'clock tonight, with new information to be revealed in the hopes of triggering a royal commission.
First time, a police whistleblower reveals all.
Beating gay people, and it was done by on-duty police.
The most disgraceful chapter in Australian history.
We have no doubt some men were murdered by New South Wales Police Force.
This month, a special commission of inquiry into suspected gay hate crimes is looking at unsolved deaths in the state between 1970 and 2010. One breast cancer survivor is busy working to create a safe and supportive environment for women of all backgrounds to share their life-changing journeys. More than 20,000 Aussie women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year, with more than 3,000 at risk of death.
With a hot cup of tea and a positive mindset, Thit Chu says women can overcome anything.
Women are like tea bags. They don't know how strong they are until they're in hot water.
After regular breast screenings, her diagnosis came out of the blue.
I thought I was a very healthy person, and because I don't have any diseases, any ailments, I'm not overweight, I don't drink, I don't smoke.
She says the cancer journey's one of resilience and mental strength.
Even in my Burmese saying, they said that if your mind is too heavy and loaded with too much problem, it will crush your body.
While undergoing treatment, Thit focused her time elsewhere.
So my whole energy and focus was going into getting this little Japanese garden happen, and I really enjoyed it. And by the time the garden finished, all my chemo sessions finished, and how beautiful is that?
She says early detection played a big part in her survival.
Screening is very important. Screening saves life, all right? So once you screen, and if cancer is found early, it's quite easy to treat it. And cancer found early is no longer a death sentence.
Realising there's no one network for multicultural women, Thit founded the Sisters Cancer Support Group.
If we want to really get rid of less cancer in our community, you have to do this, collaborative, consultative approach, helping each other and working together.
The NBCF has invested in 20 new research projects across Australia worth $12.4 million. And those projects really have the opportunity to revolutionise screening, detection and treatment of breast cancer.
Olivia Blunden, Win News.
There's a push for more residents on the South Coast to buy and get behind the wheel of electric vehicles, but there's a dire need for more infrastructure. It's something the state government is looking into, hoping to get Australia on par with the rest of the world.
While more and more countries are transitioning to electric vehicles at an accelerating rate, Australia is falling behind. Some now looking to speed up the process.
Any transition, it takes time, but with more demand and more need for the infrastructure, it will be coming.
The South Coast Health and Sustainability Alliance hosting the region's first electric vehicle expo.
It's really helping a regional area to see that electric vehicles are suitable for areas where you do have longer distances to drive.
Rallying to get more residents on board. Figures for last month showing that just over 4% of new vehicles sold were electric. The state government's EV strategy attempting to drive sales of EVs to more than 50% of new car sales by 2030.
We've got a long way to go and we've only got 8 years.
But what also has a long way to go is infrastructure for the vehicles.
We are an EV black spot on the South Coast. This needs to be fixed as soon as possible.
I think there's Woolies down there that have them set up. I think that's the only place that I've seen that's actually got them.
The lack of charging stations deterring potential buyers.
You'd obviously get a certain distance before you need to recharge, and there's minimal recharging facilities in regional areas.
As part of the EV strategy, $171 million is being invested to build a world-class road network of ultra-fast charging stations. Cass Rogan, Win News.
As the construction sector is crippled by rising costs, labour shortages and time delays, the Shadow Minister for Planning is warning things may get worse. Currently, these issues are impacting new homeowners and anyone building new retail projects.
And it's also going to start to impact in the future on how quickly we can deliver some of those major infrastructure projects, particularly in renewable energy, as that starts to feed through the system.
He's calling on the government to implement new measures to find some solutions.
We've got to look and make sure that we're keeping apprentices in apprenticeships to completion. About half of them are leaving part of the way through now. We've got to look at how we can use planning instruments and other means to encourage more women into the construction sector.
The Department of Industry, Science and Resources says work is underway to investigate factors constraining the market capacity, to consider options to bolster the workforce. An update is expected to be provided early next year. And as businesses grapple with a shortage of skilled workers, a local scaffolding organisation is boosting the sector one trainee at a time.
A booming industry benefiting from a booming program. One local business is providing eager workers the chance to get qualified.
Since its inception in 2005, we've put through over 150 trainees in conjunction with HVTC and TAFE, and we're looking at again taking on 20 for next year's course.
After a 2-year period, trainees like 18-year-old Jack will earn a Certificate 3 in scaffolding as well as practical on-the-job experience, fee-free.
I just wanted a trade. Scaffolding wasn't on my top list, but I thought I'd give it a crack, and yeah, I'm loving it. So
awesome. What's your favourite part about it?
Building. So yeah, doing the shutdowns and all that, big shifts, and a pretty good coin.
Localised traineeship programs like this are helping to build a community of skilled workers amid a national shortage.
We're struggling across the board with all industry, with all of our hosts. Scaffolding, we've put a huge focus on trying to get when we first ran this program, we were getting hundreds of applicants. We're down to trying to promote it as best we can to get applicants now, because it's a huge opportunity.
The region's future tradies sending a message to anyone thinking about getting involved.
Give it a shot. It's a good industry to be in. There's a lot of work going on.
Romy Gilbert, Win News.
Coming up next on Win News, Ben Boyd National Park gets a name change to pay respect to and celebrate Aboriginal culture, and how caravanners are hitting the road in droves despite the rising cost of living expenses. It's been a bumpy road for the caravan industry, but despite COVID-19, wet weather and rising cost of living, caravanning is picking up in popularity across the state.
A community of explorers with spirits hard to break. People are jumping into caravans and hitting the road in record numbers.
It's a really good opportunity to spend time with your family by exploring new places all around the world, Australia.
It's more affordable, especially for larger families, and we've just been cooped up for COVID for so long. It's so nice to be outside.
After travel came to a complete halt during the height of the pandemic, the caravan industry has seen its biggest quarterly boost yet.
We're talking sort of 12, almost 13 million overnight trips for that period of time, which is a fantastic number, and we know that sort of contributes quite heavily to the visitor expenditure across the country.
Holiday goers spent more than $8 billion in Australian communities over the last 3 months. Some caravan park regulars say inflation is impacting their back pockets.
Regular upgrades in our fees, so they go up about 3 or 4% each year, or 5%.
But despite rising costs, caravan park manager Steve Thompson says he's sure this summer will be one of the biggest yet.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a downturn in the tourism trade from caravans, given the price of fuel has gone up, and also obviously the cost of living has gone up. So they're still out there, they're still travelling, and they're still getting around.
The message from inside the caravan community is clear.
Get a caravan, it's nice.
Romy Gilbert, Win News.
Ben Boyd National Park near Eden will be renamed Bielwa National Park after years of consultation with Aboriginal communities. The state government's decided to rename the national park after requests from the Aboriginal communities due to Boyd's practice of blackbirding.
A lot of these names have changed from being Aboriginal names into white names, and we'd like to put some of these names back, get the respect.
The name now celebrates the important connection between the park's coastline and the spiritual lives of its first inhabitants, and means orca or killer whale in the local Aboriginal language. It was chosen through an extensive consultation process with more than 60 representatives from Aboriginal and South Sea Islander communities. Park signage listing the new name is now being installed. Sport is next, and after a wet weekend, the business end of the Koori Cup kicks off with NRL stars on show, and not the start the Hawks wanted in their NBL opener against the Kings, but a young gun gives fans something to be excited about.
This report, brought to you by Tramps the Store. Proudly part of the Illawarra for 49 years.
Newcastle All Blacks have just claimed Koori Cup glory after defeating Walgett Aboriginal Connection in a tightly contested grand final. As one of the biggest Aboriginal gatherings in Australia comes to a close, our reporter Jack Perry was down to check out the action.
here at the 50th anniversary on the final day of the Koori Knockout Cup, where thousands are in attendance to support their local teams and local heroes.
Some of those local heroes on display, including the likes of NRL superstar Latrell Mitchell. Off the back of his season with the Rabbitohs, Mitchell was excited to be a part of history.
Yeah, it's awesome, mate. It's been a long 3 years in the making, I guess, and yeah, it's really enjoyable to see a lot of the mob get out and enjoy everyone's company. And this is the biggest event in Koori history, and yeah, it's just unbelievable to be a part of it this year, and yeah, I'm really grateful.
After a 2-year hiatus of the Koori Knockout Cup, Mitchell happy to take a break from the NRL to represent his people as part of the Walgett Aboriginal Connection.
It is, mate. I haven't played since 2017, to be honest, and there's a lot of feeling in that, and I'm very grateful to be here and amongst everyone and represent my people, my family, and yeah, it's just very proud.
The sun deciding to turn it on after a wet weekend, with those in attendance soaking up the historic atmosphere.
Just all the communities coming together, family, watching the best footy. Yeah, it's mad.
Coming together all as one mob, everyone being here, supporting everyone, and yeah, that's the best part.
When the countries all come together, there's an atmosphere, there's a feeling that you can't explain. It's just the emotions that you get. And you see the young talents that's coming up.
Whether you're playing, spectating or passing through, the return of the Koori Knockout Cup is a welcome sight for all. Jack Perry, Win News.
Ben Hunt's the sole Dragons player named in the Kangaroos squad for the upcoming Rugby League World Cup, with Helensburgh product Damien Cook named as a standby player. The Gillaroos team includes 4 Dragons players, along with Helensburgh's Sam Bremner and Camargo's Millie Boyle. Boyle was instrumental for Newcastle in yesterday's grand final win over the Eels. Boyle's partner Adam Elliott also getting caught up in the emotions on the day. Boyle captaining her side to Newcastle's first NRLW premiership in the club's history. After conceding early on, the Knights came out firing, managing to secure the 32-12 win against the Eels. The Illawarra Hawks have lost their season opener against defending champions, the Sydney Kings. The Hawks sticking with their more fancied rivals with the help of a breakout game from a homegrown talent.
Coming up against the defending champions, the Sydney Kings, was always going to be a battle for the Hawks. Playing in front of 4,000 people at Wynn Entertainment Centre, import George King got his first taste of NBL action.
Here we go again, good block. Matthew ain't got a piece of it. Now King, feet set, Illawarra in front for the first time tonight.
The score neck and neck for most of the game. Hawks foul trouble giving the Kings the opportunities to build a lead later in the piece.
And one!
Right on cue. That'll get him going. All the shooter needs, like Hammer would know, just for him. Look at this, DJ Vasiljevic. Doesn't take much to get him going.
No, it does not.
Derek Walton Jr. putting the Kings on his back, showing his NBA experience, scoring 32 points and 8 assists, providing the dagger of any hopes of a Hawks comeback.
He's had the answer all night. He's got it again.
He's got game.
30-piece.
Illawarra-born Lachlan Dent proving a silver lining for the Hawks, not missing a single field goal, including 5 three-pointers, scoring 19 points on the night.
They've sent Justin Simon to try and stop him.
Kings coming away with the 106-97 win. The Hawks looking to bounce back this Thursday against the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Jack Perry, Win News.
Albion Park's Talia Wilson has scored her first Women's National Cricket League ton, helping the Breakers to a big win over Western Australia. Wilson set a good platform at the top for the Breakers, her knock including 10 fours and a 6.
Wilson back, nudges this onto the onside. There it is, her maiden WNCL century. She's batted all through the innings.
She was eventually out for 101. Bowrell's Lauren Cheadle then took 2 for 27 as the Breakers won the match by 58 runs. Mollymook local Sam Zustovic has been crowned world champion at the World Surf Life Saving Championships in Italy. Zustovic came up against South Africa's Riley de Morney in the final of the beach flags. The Australian champion edged out early before bouncing back with a world title winning dive. The Illawarra's Ruby Sargent-Wilson has made her debut for the Sydney Swans in the AFLW. The Woonona local graduating from the Swans Academy to play against the North Melbourne Kangaroos yesterday. The Swans weren't able to overcome a dominant Kangaroos side who ran away with a record 67-1 win. Sargent-Wilson with 13 disposals and 7 kicks in her debut. That is our night in sport. Weather is next with Adam Straney, and what a picture-perfect public holiday.
Oh, Jared, I hope you made the most of it. And tomorrow is going to be similar, but a change is on the way. Find out what's coming just after the break.
This report brought to you by Housing World and United Building Products, your renovation DIY and trade specialists.
G'day, welcome back on a gorgeous holiday Monday. Thanks so much to Addison in Tullambar for this great shot of the lightning from Friday. She's only 12, she tells me, and this looks like the set of Stranger Things. Ooh, spooky. What sort of weather photo did you get over the weekend? Don't be shy. Share it via email, weather@wintv.com.au. Beautiful temps, and what about Holiday Monday? That's what it's all about. Coaldale, Ostermere was packed by the water today. Now Barrel, cold early and then just a hint of wind, keeping it a little bit cooler until about lunchtime. Goulburn, beautiful, but a top of 19 degrees. Shell Harbour was wonderful by the water as well. Kiama reached its peak at 1, while Nowra feeling 5 degrees colder than shown there, and Ulladulla warming by just 9 degrees. Further south, Bateman's Bay might have reached 18, but it felt like 6 degrees colder than what it shows there. Bermagui down to Tathra and along the coast, absolutely gorgeous bathing in sunshine and 18-19 degrees, while Merimbula had a little bit of drizzle late today. Now, a ridge of high pressure extends along the New South Wales coast from a strong high that's centred around that Southern Ocean. And a developing trough over South Australia is expected to move east over the coming days, and it will begin to affect the west of New South Wales tomorrow and most areas then on Wednesday. Now to the waters, another great day for our boaties and surfers with light winds, but a bit small, the swells at the moment for our surfers. So to the forecast for the Illawarra Southern Highlands, becoming cloudy. Chance of fog about the Highlands early in the morning, but a top of 20 degrees for Barrel and Goulburn. What about the coast, reaching 22 degrees in Albion Park, 23 Nowra, while mostly sunny morning further south, looking just gorgeous, 21 degrees, and a little bit of a late shower by the afternoon and evening. For Wollongong tomorrow, mostly sunny day, maybe a bit of a change late and a top of 21. Wednesday is going to be wet with showers returning, 35 mils in Wollongong, 40 mils in Bega, and also by the bay as well. Thursday's looking like those showers will set in. More showers to end the week on Friday, so it's certainly going to be a wet one, Jared, but we'll catch up again tomorrow.
Thanks, Adam. That's all for your news tonight, this Monday, the 3rd of October. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then. Good night.